Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final heat of Hexbots, Hexbug Battlebots Series 2. Last time we saw Vipershy and Lester the Lobster make it to the tournament. But now we have the two deadly spinners of last season, who I guarantee should have been the champion last season, and two other robots that we just want to throw in. We've got Zealand's Rip Current, Hypershock, Spikosaurus, and Stingcat. An absolute middle finger of a robot. But we'll get to that. As, well, I don't know what to say anymore. But let's just start with Zealand's Rip Current and Hypershock. 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the battle begin. Hypershock coming in with a little hit there onto Zealand's Rip Current as both its wedgelets are stuck up. It's stuck on the wedge. It's stuck with everything at this point. It's Zealand's Rip Current. He had to back down last season because he didn't want to work. And Hypershock getting underneath the Zealand's Rip Current. And that's the thing with Hypershock. And whoa! Zealand's Rip Current doing a little disco on Hypershock's back tire. Oh, that's amazing. So, can Zealand's Rip Current do anything to Hypershock? No, it can't. It barely did anything last season. There goes a wedgelet. And I just noticed a side panel also comes off of Zealand's Rip Current. So, you know, that's something for the boys of New Zealand. If anything, if there's an exhibition fight, I want to see Zealand's Rip Current versus Endgame. You know, because they're both from New Zealand. Hypershock pushing back. It's stuck onto the wedge. It gets free. Thank God. I'm not going to have an aneurysm again. Zealand's Rip Current up onto the shelf. God damn it. The wedge. The freaking wedge. I gotta stop. Zealand's Rip Current stops, and, well, Hypershock takes the win. Cease. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, Hypershock was the number 2 seed last season. Yeah, they might have pulled off something here and there last time. But, well, hey, it's at least something. Hypershock with 3 points. But now it's the time you've been waiting for. The return of a favorite who should have been a tournament champion. It comes, the deadly and dangerous Spikosaurus. Facing against rookie Stingcat, but we don't want to talk about him. Like, we don't talk about 3, 2, 1... activate. Let the battle begin. Spikosaurus doing some damage to the top of Stingcat. And that's the immediate destruction we want to see from Spikosaurus. Well, in this case, I'm playing with Silly Putty right now. As Stingcat moves away, I'm glad to see a somewhat good designed Stingcat, but it just doesn't have the effective weapons. Like, you've got a giant mouth, and what's that supposed to be? What's that supposed to do? Display Spikosaurus' spinner? No! It's not going to do that. It's just going to if anything, remove the whole thing. Well, crikey. If that ever happens, I'll be a ding-dong-dang. Spikosaurus, what are you doing? You're not doing a tango with a skunk dog thing. Seriously, what the hell is Stingcat supposed to be? Is it a skunk? Is it a dog? What is it? I want to know. That's the top things I want to know, besides what is love, is Annie okay, and who let the dogs out. Or more or less, who let Stingcat out. Well, in any case, Stingcat doing well and pushing back Spikosaurus. I'm impressed to see that. But Spikosaurus, he's obviously got the weapon. He's got everything. You can't do anything about it. Spikosaurus trying to find a way to get a big hit on a on Stingcat. Spikosaurus now doing some little hits there to the side of Stingcat. You know, just so that he can snap back to reality. Up and over goes gravity. Well, it's not working this time around. Spikosaurus pushing it back. Stingcat, and a big hit there right into the kissa of Stingcat. And Spikosaurus doing some more hits to the front. Big hit! Popping Stingcat! What a hit by Spikosaurus! As he straight up pops up Stingcat. And now Stingcat in a lot of trouble. They look really shooken after that hit by Spikosaurus and now being pushed onto the shelf. That's a good idea from them. Because if you're dealing with a robot like Spikosaurus, you already know you're getting out of here. And, well, that does it. Spikosaurus takes the win. Welcome back. Jeez, and I thought Hydrogen Bomb got the worst exchange from Spikosaurus. No, Stinkcat was the one who was. The poor skunk dog hybrid just freaking got demolished by Spikosaurus. Well, Spikosaurus is hungry for another chance at the tournament, and he's got a high chance. I mean, if he takes out Hypershock and Zealand's Rip Current, he might. But well, first we have Hypershock versus Stinkcat, and then Spikosaurus versus Zealand's Rip Current. 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the battle begin. Hypershock up to speed. Stinkcat losing its panels already, and being pinned to the corner now. Is Stinkcat okay? You don't seem to be moving too well. As, oh, there goes a wheel off of it, and Hypershock pinning it in the wall. Stinkcat, well, what can they even do? The skunk dog hybrid thing, I don't even know what it is genuinely. It's got the mouth of a dog, but the colors of a skunk. What's he supposed to be? A dog mixed with Pepe Le Pew? Warner Brothers, we need more of him. Cancel culture, I don't like you. Alright, I gotta stop saying boring crap like this. Hypershock, pinning Stinkcat away and pushing him into the side wall. Is Stinkcat done? Is Stinkcat finished? Is he? Well, he's not moving, so I guess that's my answer. Hypershock, yeah, Hypershock takes the win. Cease. Man, the poor skunk dog just won't be left alone. Hypershock moves on with 6, and might continue on if he ever faces Spikosaurus and wins. But speaking of which, it's Spikosaurus versus Zealand's Rip Current. 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the battle begin. Spikosaurus up to speed. It did deadly encounters, and well, Zealand's Rip Current just goes immediately into the shelf. I think they already just told us that they do not want to do this fight. And I see it. I see why. Spikosaurus made it to the tournament last season and absolutely decimated its opponents as parts flying off of Zealand's Rip Current. Or at least yeah, that is Zealand's Rip Current, alright. That was a side panel that came off. And Spikosaurus popping off of Zealand's Rip Current. Zealand's Rip Current doing a nice job of keeping Spikosaurus at bay. And doing a good job. Did they just push Spikosaurus back? Were the old buddies of New Zealand able to push the mighty Spikosaurus back? Despite it being almost completely done. And they just got into the shelf. You've got to be kidding me, you guys. Do you want to win or not? Because in terms of this, you're not getting it. Well, in this case, Spikosaurus just doing matters into his own hands is just doing dirty work. Oh, God. Spikosaurus takes the win. As Zealand's Rip Current pulls it together, he now pulls back in as he faces Stinkcat. And then we bring in the fight you wanted to see. 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the battle begin. Zealand's Rip Current getting underneath the Stinkcat. Stinkcat immediately shedding its skin. Well, that's just disgusting. And there's a panel underneath the Stinkcat hindering him from moving. And finally... And now, Zealand's Rip Current happier as they ever. They finally got a knockout. As Zealand's Rip Current finally pulls off a decent win. And sadly, we have to say goodbye to Stinkcat for today. I liked that robot, even though he was an absolute middle finger to deal with. Just like actual dogs, am I right? I'm kidding. In any cases, we've come to the fight that you've wanted to see. Spikosaurus versus Hypershock. This fight will determine who will get the higher seed and which one will be the below pants in my rear. 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the battle begin. The moment to decide, Spikosaurus pops up Hypershock. Hypershock spins around and Spikosaurus doing some damage to the front wedge of Hypershock. Both robots turning around. This has been a great heat so far, starring these two robots. the two Grand Slammers of last season, and definitely when it here, a piece flies off of Hypershock's rear. So that's definitely something. Spikosaurus being pushed up by Hypershock. Hypershock doing a nice job of staying in control of Spikosaurus. But now onto the wedge, it escapes, and a near miss by Hypershock, as just barely hit by Spikosaurus' weapon. Oh! And Spikosaurus is ripping off the wedge. The wedge is coming off of Hypershock, but it's hanging on by a thread. Will that wedge stay on Hypershock? I don't know. That Gorilla Glue is really coming in touch for Hypershock as it pushes up Spikosaurus once more. My goodness. This fight between two robots, as Hypershock goes up into the shell for some reason. This fight, two robots, both yellow. One is more neon yellow and the other is golden. Two of the hardest hitting weapons and the most dangerous robots in the lineup. Two robots destined for a championship title, as King Slayer found that out the hard way. Anyways, Hypershock spinning around, trying to not get its wedge broken by Spikosaurus. How has that wedge not come off of Hypershock yet? It's literally held on there by magic. As Spikosaurus pushing around, Hypershock in a lot of trouble if its wedge comes off. It's very vital to its success is to get underneath of the robot and flip it over. As Spikosaurus being pushed away there by Hypershock into the wedge. And that wedge on Hypershock is still attached. Like, it's still on Hypershock. How is that possible? I don't know. Hypershock having problems. Spikosaurus trying to take the opportunity, but bro, your weapon is at your front, not your back. And Hypershock pinning Spikosaurus near that corner. And now trying to remove the wedge. And there it goes! And the final knockout to take out Spikosaurus as Hypershock makes the comeback of the season. Spikosaurus flipped over and Hypershock takes the upset win. Wow. Okay, I will admit, that last fight was freaking awesome. I have never seen Hypershock pull off that big of an upset, as he pulls off the upset of the season after being brutally dismembered by Spikosaurus. This fight is going to go down in history as the greatest Hexbots fight I've ever seen next to the championship between Quarter Pounder and Kingslayer last season. Who knows? Hypershock can pull off more upsets in the season, as Hypershock with a total of 9 points again, and Spikosaurus with 6. But I will admit, Spikosaurus did awesome. I will admit that. But now, with that out the way, we will begin the bracket, hopefully, and it will be released somewhere between tomorrow, if not later this weekend. Well, in that case, have a great day, and what an awesome fight to conclude this heat.